This is our adventure in April 2024 when we venture into the deep wilderness of Nova Scotia to explore and relax in all the best nature has for mankind to enjoy. Aaron and I team up for a journey into the Tobeatic Wilderness area to enjoy Sporting and Oakland Lake for an 8-day canoe trip, basking in the rugged beauty that we know and love as the Tobeatic. We woke on day 5 of our trip to a spectacular sunrise. The Oakland campsite had been good to us with a good night's rest overall. Aaron had made some modifications to his sleeping arrangements the night before, and he was more comfortable. I was warm, toasty, and comfortable in my spot in my tent. For the second night in a row, it was very cold, well below zero, and the water froze again in the bottle. My stove was stubborn yet again while making breakfast due to the cold. Today was the day that we had decided to explore the lower portion of Oakland Lake. Aaron and I had paddled it to the bottom quite a number of years ago, but the pouring rain made exploration limited that day. Today, however, was vastly different. We got going about mid-morning for our trip, and it was spectacular conditions for paddling. The water was like glass, mirroring all the features around it, sky and land. The canoe majestically sliced through the surface of the water, creating fine ripples in its wake. Although the night had been cold, the sun had the power that the early spring sun does, warming our hearts, hands, and spirits. We paddled back through the Oakland Narrows, but this time, rather than splitting off toward East Cranberry Lake, we stayed the course and headed south toward the bottom of Oakland Lake. As the lake opens up on the other side of the Narrows, plenty of Tobeatic granite rocks greeted us, and we soaked in all the sights and sounds. This is the reason why we are out here for a week, to immerse ourselves in this experience of nature and exploration. Loons are probably my favorite sound in the Tobeatic. The loon population in the area continues to grow, and we were able to listen to their haunting calls on almost every night of this trip. Shortly after we entered the lower portion of the lake, I spotted 3 loons fishing together off to our left. They're hard to make out in the video, but you can see the 3 black dots on the water ahead of us. Like we usually do, we snuck up on them as best we could in our loud metal floating box, and we got a good look at them at work. It was awesome. In true Tobeatic fashion, we made sure that we hit a few rocks on our paddle. I figured there wasn't nearly enough scratches and digs on the hull of my canoe. According to Aaron, I just wasn't doing my job properly as the bowman, and therefore we hit the rock. As well as the loons, we also saw a goose up close and personal on our way down the lake. Unfortunately, I didn't have the camera recording at the time, despite thinking that I did. Another rookie mistake, I guess. This goose came up swimming fast from behind us on our right. It swam right in front of the canoe, probably about 15 feet away, and then it treated us to this marvelous takeoff from the water. It spread its wings, honking all the way as it took off into the air. It amazes me just how big geese are when you get to see them up close. When we arrived at the southernmost part of the lake, we climbed out of the boat and went exploring. We easily located the remains of the old cabin that used to be there before the Tobeatic became the Tobeatic, and we went in search of the old road that is marked on the map. New growth forest made the bushwhack very challenging, and we didn't know exactly where the road was either. Mission not accomplished. However, we stumbled upon an enormous rock pile, and I played around on that for a while. It was a pretty cool spot. There's another huge one in behind this one here. A whole dollar. Once Aaron finished humoring me as I climbed around this rock pile, we bushwhacked back through the thick growth back to our canoe. Lunchtime had come and gone, so we decided to pull up on a sandy beach on the way back to eat. We hit the water heading back the long paddle to the Narrows again. While we were playing around on the point, the wind came up into a breeze and our Mirror Lake finish was gone for another day. After eating lunch, we set out to explore the right-hand shore, now on our left, of Lower Oakland. As we paddled by a cove, Eagle Eye Aaron, who can tell you exactly how long ago an animal passed by just by sniffing at its droppings, saw 2 adult deer drinking on the shore. Again, the deer are hard to make out in the video, but watch for the movement on the shore ahead of us. We were downwind, so we slowly paddled closer and closer and got to enjoy about 5 minutes of viewing these wonderful creatures as they sniffed the air trying to get our scent before working their way around the bend and out of sight. You don't get many encounters like this, so when you do, you make the most of it. We love to stop and smell the roses. Sometimes, even when there aren't any roses, we just stop anyway. It was a fun, adventure-filled day. We settled back into our campsite on Oakland Lake for our 3rd night there. Just like the previous 2 nights, it got cold rapidly as the afternoon progressed into the evening. It was another chilly night around the fire. I made baked beans and bannock for supper. This meal gave me some trouble as I added too much water to rehydrate my beans, and I had to condense them. And I got distracted while I was making the bannock and burned one side of one piece. All in all, though, the meal turned out very good, surprisingly, and before long we were off to Dreamland, concluding day number 5 in the Tobeatic. Day 6 began with packing up and heading back out the way we came in, to Sporting Lake. The morning was very cold and it was very windy. For the 3rd night in a row, the water froze outside the tent in the bottle. Gear rock is seen here at the end of the Oakland Carry. It is a large flat rock just poking through the surface of the water. Alright, time to tackle this bad boy with the canoe. Just whack the camera. Well, we started our way out. I'm going to talk loud here so you can hear me over the hardtack bushes. So, Aaron and I have already been through with the packs. They're waiting at the other side at Sporting Lake. And I'm just starting out the return here with the canoe. A couple of swampy spots here right at the beginning. They're deep and swampy. Woo! A little bit of sidestepping. It was very windy and cold last night. And cold this morning. It's
approximately 11:30 in the morning, and my backpack thermometer is saying 3 degrees when I got through. The other side of my pack, said 3 degrees. So it was a cold night. You can hear all the bushes screeching on the, oh, there's a bush in the face, screeching on the hull of the canoe. So this carry is about 1,300 meters. It's a pretty rough and rugged carry. There's worse, but it's not getting the love and attention that it got at one time. So, but traveling it 6 times here in a week certainly makes a difference. Anyway, back to the weather. It was very cold. Probably the coldest morning I've had out in the Tobeatic before, to be honest with you. My thermometer said -2 when I checked it at about 6:30 this morning. The water froze in the bottles. It was real chilly. It was very windy all night. It's very windy today. I'm secluded in the woods right now though, but yeah, it was a windy paddle. The upper part of Oakland. Where am I? Oh yeah, my little walk around here. So yeah, it was windy paddling, and Sporting Lake is really churning up by the looks of it. So it's going to be a hard paddle to the campsite. You got to paddle the whole lake to get there. We'll have to use the, where am I at? We'll have to use the other walk around deadfalls. We'll have to use the land to break the wind. There we go. And back on the trail. Back on the trail. So this is what a rougher Tobeatic carry kind of looks like. Like I said, there's worse ones. So. But yeah. One of the things I love about this carry between Oakland and Sporting is this pine knoll. And it's long, it's good walking, the trail's quite open as you can see ahead there. And it's just full of pine trees, big old pine trees. And there's one there. Again, I still got the canoe on. Go a little bit farther here, but one of the reasons I like it so much is my very first trip I came on. I remember coming through here with my father-in-law and his oldest brother and his youngest brother, and my very first trip in the Tobeatic. And I remember my father-in-law marveling over this spot, and got a lot of really good memories out here with him. As he was my partner at first, he taught me, got me started, so to speak, taught me lots of stuff, and had a lot of really good times. So there's a lot of really good memories in this pine knoll, walking by it. And also I came through here with my oldest son who travels with me in the fall, and we stopped and had lunch here, and real warm sunny day. We sat at the base of a great big pine tree and in this knoll and had lunch. It was awesome, good memories. And yeah, a big one there, and that's not the biggest though. There's some that are. There's some, I think the one that Cameron and I stopped at, the two of us couldn't put our arms around it. We tried to put our arms around it from either side. So anyway, good memories, really cool spot. Early afternoon at camp. Windy day, cold day. Not bad in here though. We're sheltered from the wind, and see the lake through the trees there. Sheltered from the wind, and pretty not bad as far as warmth in here. Although I don't think it's real warm. The actual temperature is probably 5 or 6 degrees unless it's warmed up, but that's what it was around lunchtime. There's Aaron's hammock set up. Oh, sore and stiff. There's my marvelous tent. Marvelous tent. We got the bear rope up in the air. We're ready to go. Got some water being filtered. Camp life begins.
The paddle back across Sporting Lake was very challenging. Frothing whitecaps had whipped up on the lake. We used the rocks and land as best we could to break the wind, and we had to paddle angled into the waves, going quite a distance out of the way to cross the side waves on the lake. I didn't film any as I wanted to concentrate on the paddling that needed to be done. We stopped to visit the point campsite and had lunch there. It probably was the coldest paddle that I've ever done that day. My hands were so cold after leaving the Sporting Lake campsite that I needed to stop the canoe behind a rock island and warm them up. That was a first for me. But as you can see, we arrived at the new Sporting Lake campsite safely, and we had a good evening around the fire. Aaron and I both made shepherd's pie, and it turned out fantastic, but it usually does, which is why I bring it every trip. We spent the evening chatting and enjoying our time together, realizing that only 2 more nights remained of yet another Tobeatic Wilderness canoe trip.